Next we have Corporal Millie Schipski. Miss Millie, if you'll come forward to the center, please. Miss Millie has an unusual, in my estimation, an unusual history. She told us that she'll be 91 on her next birthday. That's an achievement. She also, a lot of you have never heard this or heard about this. Millie is a World War II woman Marine, one of the first to enlist. And her story is that when she finished boot camp, she wanted to be assigned in California, but of course the military doesn't always cooperate. But she tells us that when she was in school in advanced training, the men treated her kind of rough. But she said that she can, here's a quote, I love it. She says, "I can lower the boom on somebody with words without touching them." I got a hunch this young lady stood up, held her ground, and then she had an interesting experience later on. She met a man from Pennsylvania, and her parents were from Pennsylvania, and they hit it off right away. And he told me a lot of stories about his close friend who came to be stationed there as well. And unbeknownst to me, this man would become my future husband. Years later, we were married, and her father served in World War I, so she comes from a family of veterans, a family of people who believe that our flag is worth fighting for, even dying for. And she had another interesting anecdote. She looked at her father's discharge papers, and it was signed by a Captain Schmidt. And later on, I'm sorry, I'm reading this poorly. I should wear my glasses. Her boss was C.S. Schmidt. And many years later, I was going through my husband's discharge papers and my father's discharge papers. I looked at my father's discharge papers, and it was signed by the same man. There was no mistaking the handwriting. He was a captain when he discharged my father, and he was a lieutenant colonel when he discharged me. Miss Millie, we thank you for your service. And she said, as far as what does Memorial Day mean to her, she said, it's a reminder of my father and my husband, but really reminds me of all the service people who have given not only their time, but their life. I would certainly be a person to encourage anyone who loves their country to join the service. There are so many opportunities now for young people entering. They did have a few opportunities when I was discharged, but in fact, one of my girlfriends discharged, went on to college. I'm very interested in my country and what they are doing. I do my best to keep my eye on Congress, and that's a big job. True. Attention. Present arms. Order arms. Parade rest. We salute you, Miss Millie. Thank you for your service.